My name is Andrea Hess, and this is my video project for the Things I Should Have Said for Sociology 100. Last summer, I spent a month studying abroad in Paris, France. While there, I took a French class in my senior seminar for Lyman breaks. My beginner French class was at Sorbonne University, which was located in the heart of the city. In my class, there was a wide range of students from all over the world, and about 15 students total in my section. There was one student in particular that I connected with, and his name was Daniel. He was from the University of Pennsylvania, and he had a disability. He was blind, and he also learned at a slower pace than the rest of the course. My professor was a sweet woman who grew up in Paris. She was fluent in French, English, and Spanish. Her teaching style included randomly calling on students to make sure that they were paying attention. And she would not allow us to speak in English, as she would only speak in French too. From this, she believed that we would learn French at a faster rate. Every class period, she started by asking the class how we were and what we did the night before, in French, of course. One day, Daniel was the student she asked these questions to. Daniel was very unsure of how to respond, and he got frustrated with himself. He was trying to speak back to her in French, but kept stuttering and he couldn't get an answer out. The teacher was patient with him, and it took about 2 minutes for Daniel to answer the question. While Daniel was struggling to answer, I heard from the back of the classroom, "Is this kid joking? This is the easiest question ever, but it makes sense, since he's retarded." I turned around to see the two kids laughing at Daniel together, and then I turned right back around in my seat. This is an example of social inequality because Daniel's master status was that he had a mental disability, and not that he was simply a fellow student. Social stratification is present in this situation since he was ranked as below the other two students in the class making fun of him. He was socially seen as less and treated unequally for this reason. Daniel's esteem in this situation is low. He has a low reputation from his ascribed and achieved statuses from the people who have observed him, and in this situation, Greg, who is in the back of the classroom, has given him this low esteem since they observe him in this way. Socially, inequality is normalized, and it is hard for people to challenge the norms of society. There are societal pressures that make people conform to society to maintain the standards of the group. If you do not conform, you may instead deviate from society, and with this there are sanctions, which can be formal, informal, positive, or negative. These sanctions can make you stand out, and in the most extreme cases, when you deviate from the mores, or the most critical norms to the group, your master status of deviant can become your identification in society. People will see you as deviant instead of someone who has conformed to society. This prevents people from challenging the norms of society. People do not want to stand out and be seen as a deviant, since they may then be discriminated against or be a victim of prejudice. In this situation, I could have said something back to Greg, who spoke badly about Daniel. I could have pointed out to him that he was discriminating against Daniel and that everyone is different and learns at their own pace. However, I am not sure how effective that would have been. I do believe that standing up for Daniel is important, especially since he did not have the opportunity to defend himself, since he did not hear the comment. Daniel's blindness and mental disability is his ascribed status. He was born with both. It is by chance he is the way he is, and it was by choice that Greg decided to make a rude comment about him. Greg believes he is a part of the in-group, which gives him social prestige, while Daniel is a part of the out-group. I cannot change how Greg thinks, but I can try to show him how to change his mindset. I think it is a step in the right direction to point out to him that what he said was wrong. Quite honestly, he may not even realize that he is creating a situation of social inequality. It would be good to talk with him about his positionality, also known as his social location. Social location affects the way we think and the way we behave. No one can be completely objective when living their life or assessing situations, but I could have pointed out the idea of reflexivity to him, which means him thinking critically about his positionality and being open about it to himself and those around him. Using reflexivity is the closest we can get to being objective, and this is important to keep in mind in social situations. From this course, my perspectives have widened, and I am more conscious of social inequality that exists in our society. It is much more common than many people think.